Welcome to LobbyComply Pod from State and Federal Communications. We are your source for lobbying, compliance, ethics, campaign finance, and election news from across the country. Hello, this is Elizabeth Bartz, President and CEO of State and Federal Communications. Let me transfer you to Joe May, who will introduce this week's podcast.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm Joe May, Manager of Corporate Social Responsibility. I'm here with John Hilber today, our intern for 2025. John, tell us about yourself.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for having me on the podcast today. So I am John Hilber. I am a senior journalism major at Kent State University, and I'm also going for a minor in psychology. And this is going to be my last semester, actually, so I'll be graduating in December. I'm really excited about that and doing a lot of productive things post-graduation, too. I'm not actually from the Akron area. I actually do live in Columbus. And since I go to school near here, I decided that I wanted to stay in the area and get an internship this summer to do some new things that I usually don't do in classes. So I'm definitely appreciative of the opportunity from State and Federal Communications.
So tell us about your internship. What has the company been having you do?
Yeah, so for State and Federal Communications this summer, I've worked in many different parts of the office. I've had my hand in the baskets of the marketing team, the sales team, doing some social media stuff, and even work with you with CSR and with videos, this podcast, and the internal newsletter too. And I've honestly had such a great time doing a variety of things that maintain some interest, but things that also teach me real helpful skills too. One of the things that comes to mind would be something like motion graphic editing. I worked a lot with Nick Hollis this summer on some posts that go onto the company's Facebook and LinkedIn accounts. And that experience was so critical and really top tier for me, learning Canva and things like that. But in the beginning, I helped with some research here and there, but eventually I helped edit some of the video graphics on the social media accounts. So there are some videos with generic explanations of a term that is used in the industry, and it gets more specific with some state modifications of the words, and those are some of the things that I did. I helped edit that video and give it a professional tone that mirrors the company while also looked visually appealing too. So that was a huge deal for me. I've never really had video editing experience through, Kent State classes, but sort of conceptualizing it and putting it together on a software that was super interesting to me. But that was something that stuck with me and something I could take with me where I go.
Right.
The same thing goes for some of the content I made with you. So things like the internal newsletter and editing the long form video at the end of the internship too. And even this podcast. The internal newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks was a great learning experience because I learned the software that goes with it and the process of coming up with engaging, important, and also fun content every couple of weeks. It's something that I wanted to pursue in the future, and it certainly helped separate me from my peers post-graduation for sure. Most people have never used newsletter software at all, so that was really cool. Some of the other things I've had the opportunity to work on over the course of the internship are things like lead generation for the sales team, which is basically just finding people that might be interested in our services, working at other companies, and then taking down some of their contact information for the sales team so that they can contact them later. And I put that into like an Excel spreadsheet. So it's a little bit more organized and easy to follow for the team. I also worked on captioning content with the social media teams pretty recently. I got to tap into my journalistic skills a little bit there, and also with some of the written stuff for the State and Federal Communications blog. It's not super common that I've been doing that, but I still liked doing something that I was familiar with every once in a while.
Okay, so you aren't trapped in a cubicle all day, right?
Definitely not.
You are sometimes out in the community. Tell us about some of the community events that you've attended.
Yeah, there are plenty of things to do outside the office that keep me interested, not only in some new thing to work on every once in a while, but also just the Akron area, the community, the culture. Those are always just really fun, going out into the community and learning about just the area and some of the intern-specific events, even myself. Those are always things that I really look forward to and circle down the calendar. It really got me excited, so I'd like to thank Elizabeth Bartz for signing me up for events like that and getting me out there, but also just investing in myself to, get me to those greater Akron Chamber events too. Some of the community events were things like the Akron Roundtables, Leadership on Main at Canal Park. I went to the National Sales and Marketing Executives Luncheon with a couple of people here at State and Federal.
Yeah.
These ones were a little bit more broad with their interests. They could have ranged anywhere from business leadership advice to something like rebuilding a community after some infrastructure expansion, years ago. I like these events because I certainly learned something new. Sometimes they were things that I never even really considered before, so those are extremely valuable to attend. Still, some events are more intern specific, so they taught a little bit more about maybe my skill set and how to maximize what I'm good at while finding how to sort of lift up some skills that I might not be so good at. Another one taught about elevator pitches and how to network and sort of not just speak at somebody, but to also listen and be really active in just a conversation and not just trying to sell yourself all the time. I really like that one a lot. My favorite one came early in the summer when the Greater Akron Chamber brought out the mayor of Akron and the county executive to talk to a room full of interns about why Akron is such a great place to work and build up and why interns should stay in the area post-graduation. I liked hearing their perspectives, and it felt really good leaving just about their vision of the community and what it can be. And so that got me really excited about potentially staying in Akron.
We also got our hands dirty with some volunteer work. Tell me about that.
Yes, we absolutely did. We spent some time at the Community Health Center in Akron working out some landscape work for the building, which was really fun and definitely left me feeling good too. A group helped shovel up some stones to put along the perimeter of the house. We planted some flowers, dug holes, and put mulch around brand new trees out in the front lawn for everyone to see when they drive on by. And some people even painted pictures for the people too. So we really tried to make the outside of the building look as good and as fresh as possible for people driving by. This one was interesting too because I remember Mark was with me, and he was talking about the importance of community events and specifically volunteering opportunities. And he told me that it was a good way to gauge if people were good teammates and are willing to work together to get something done, which was something that I didn't really consider. And, it's sort of like an added value to a volunteer opportunity, which I hadn't really considered. That's just one of the examples of just learning a lot more than what's just right in front of you. That was a great thing to learn while in the community. So I learned a ton, not just about the office work and how it will be in an office in the future, but also some intangibles about being out in the community too.
So when all is said and done, what would you say that you learned and took away from this internship?
Yeah, I could honestly point to any number of practical skills that I gained and attribute them to the internship. But I think the greatest thing that I've learned, weirdly enough, is just how to grow up. The internship taught me how to work with people a little bit more experienced, and it taught me how to gain some of their knowledge and work with them to make something happen. Being in meetings has been extremely helpful just from the viewpoint of hearing what people are working on and figuring out how I can help out and what I can do to be part of a team. And that type of experience does not come from other internships for me and freelance opportunities for being in journalism. And it certainly does not come from being in a classroom. So just learning how to occupy the same space and contribute in a meaningful way with, industry veterans and people with a lot of experience was extremely valuable. Also, learning how to talk with people outside of the company was an interesting thing that I did not think I would be learning here. A lot of the time going to a community event meant networking with Akron business owners and, different entrepreneurs and things like that. So learning how to speak confidently, but also concisely and maintaining eye contact and listening to what they have to say and you just kind of remembering what they were saying. All those things kind of go into speaking with someone face to face. That was quite the adjustment for me. I spent a lot of time connecting over an email or maybe even LinkedIn message. So, face-to-face communication and talking was a really important skill too.
Your graduation is coming up quickly. How are you planning on using this experience in the future? What do you want to do post-graduation, and how has this internship helped you?
So the first thing that I would like to say is the internship with State Federal Communications has helped me tremendously, not only develop my skills, but also my professionalism and ability to work well in a team, like I mentioned. I can't thank Elizabeth Bartz and the State and Federal Communications team enough for helping me learn a lot of the things and being patient with me and giving me such a great and welcoming experience. In terms of post-graduation, I'm honestly at a little crossroads here. I have wanted to do some sort of sports journalism since I was in high school. So I've spent a lot of time with it, and I've dedicated a lot of effort to improving my skills and learning what it takes and getting experiences doing those types of things now. But recently, I've had some thoughts about pursuing something similar to this internship where I'm working more in a marketing role with some social media aspects, involved there as well. I think this internship has helped me elevate my skills in those areas, and I'll definitely talk about the internship until people won't hear it anymore during job interviews. So that is where I am at with my future jobs. I'm still very much wanting to work with the sports team or a news outlet that reports on sports so I can still have that familiarity and interest throughout my career. But I have recently had the shift in wanting to do sports journalism through and through to maybe being open to other opportunities and stuff like that. So it's certainly attributed to my time with State and Federal. I would have never considered a shift if I had not taken on this internship in this role and learning the things that I did, among other factors as well. But this company's role is huge in that decision. Regardless, the experiences and things that I've done in this internship is vastly different from what my peers are doing, and that's certainly in a good way. This will absolutely play to my advantage and help me post-graduation for sure.
That's awesome, John. I wish you all the best after your graduation. Are there Any last comments you want to make before we wrap up the episode?
Yeah, I just wanted to give one last thank you to Elizabeth Varts for investing a lot of time, money, and energy into my professional growth, and I appreciate the chance to work with State and Federal Communications. I have enjoyed every day, every assignment, and every event this summer for sure. I also wanted to take a second to thank the State and Federal Communications team for taking me on with so much excitement and optimism and helping me learn new things and their patience in my progress.
Well, thank you, John, for being here today.
Of course.
That's it for our episode Team Intern 2025 on LobbyComply Pod. Thanks for listening to LobbyComply Pod from State and Federal Communications. For more news, visit LobbyComply.com. To learn more about how we can guide you along the road to compliance, visit stateandfed.com.